Welcome, old library. Friends, what if I told you that a small coin from 1979, a coin that most people ignored, rejected, and even laughed at, could today hold secrets worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars? This is not just an ordinary piece of change. This is the legendary Susan B. Anthony dollar. The very first U.S. coin to carry the face of a real woman, a symbol of courage and equality, and a coin that failed in circulation but became a hidden treasure in the world of collectors. From rare proof varieties to minting errors that can make you rich overnight, the 1979 $1 coin is a story of history, money, and mystery that you will never forget. The 1979 $1 coin of the United States of America is one of the most historically important and fascinating coins of modern U.S. coinage. Officially, this coin is known as the Susan B. Anthony dollar, and it holds a very unique position in the history of American currency. It was introduced in 1979 as a replacement for the Eisenhower dollar, which was a large, heavy coin that the public found inconvenient to carry. The U.S. Mint wanted to design a smaller, lighter dollar coin that could be more practical for everyday use, and thus the Susan B. Anthony dollar was born. What makes this coin extraordinary is not only its design but also its place in American history as the first U.S. circulating coin to feature a real woman, Susan B. Anthony, a pioneering leader in the women's suffrage movement who fought tirelessly for equal rights. On the obverse front side of the $1,979 coin, the portrait of Susan B. Anthony is boldly featured. She is depicted with a determined expression, symbolizing her strength and dedication to justice and equality. The inscription, Liberty, arches above her head, and the phrase, In God We Trust, appears to the right. Beneath the portrait, the year 1979 is prominently displayed. Surrounding the portrait are 13 stars, representing the original 13 colonies of the United States. This design was created by chief engraver Frank Gasparo, who worked to capture Anthony's strong character and historical legacy in the engraving. On the reverse backside, the design is equally symbolic. Instead of creating a completely new reverse design, the Mint reused the famous Apollo 11 mission insignia that had first appeared on the Eisenhower dollar. It shows an eagle landing on the moon, holding an olive branch in its claws, with the Earth visible in the background. This powerful image connects the coin to America's achievements in space exploration and to the spirit of peace. Around the border, the inscriptions include United States of America, E pluribus unum, and the denomination $1. This reverse design is a proud reminder of American progress and innovation. The coin itself is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Its diameter is 26.5 millimeters, which is much smaller than the Eisenhower dollar, and its weight is about 8.1 grams. The smaller size was intended to make the coin easier to use, but it also caused one of the biggest challenges. It was very close in size, weight, and color to the U.S. quarter. This similarity confused people in everyday transactions, leading to frustration and a lack of popularity. Because of this, although millions of these coins were minted, they were not widely accepted by the public and saw limited circulation. Another remarkable aspect of the $1,979 coin is that it was struck at multiple mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The San Francisco Mint produced both proof coins for collectors and circulation strikes. One of the most interesting features for collectors is that the 1979 S-proof coins came with two different mint mark styles, known as Type 1 and Type 2 varieties, with the Type 2 having a clearer, sharper S mint mark. These varieties make the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar especially appealing to coin collectors, since some versions are harder to find and can carry a premium. The introduction of the Susan B. Anthony dollar was groundbreaking from a historical and cultural perspective. For the first time, a woman who was not a symbolic figure like Lady Liberty, but a real historical individual, was chosen to represent America on its coinage. Susan B. Anthony's presence on the dollar signified a recognition of the importance of women's rights in the nation's story. Yet, despite this historical significance, the coin's unpopularity with the public meant that it was only minted for circulation from 1979 to 1981, and then briefly again in 1999 before being replaced by the Sacagawea dollar in 2000. In terms of value today, most 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars are still worth around their face value of $1 if found in circulated condition, since millions were produced, and they are not considered rare. However, uncirculated examples, proof versions, and certain varieties, especially the 1979 S-Type 2 proof, can sell for much higher. Depending on the condition, collector demand, and rarity, values can range from just a couple of dollars to hundreds or even thousands for high-grade certified examples with perfect strikes. Overall, the 1979 US $1 coin is a fascinating piece of numismatic history. It reflects America's attempt to modernize its coinage, honors one of the most important leaders in the fight for women's rights, and carries the legacy of the nation's space achievements on its reverse. Though it may not have been a success in daily commerce, it has become an enduring collectible and a symbol of progress and recognition of equality. The story of the 1979 $1 United States of America coin does not end with its design and circulation. In fact, the deeper you look, the more you discover about how unusual and important this coin really is. This coin represents not only an experiment in American money, but also a cultural moment that revealed the challenges of changing people's habits. When the U.S. Mint launched the Susan B. Anthony dollar, the government had high hopes that it would replace the traditional $1 paper bill, saving billions of dollars in printing costs over time. A coin lasts decades, while a paper note wears out in just a few years. The logic was strong, but reality was very different. The American public simply did not accept the new coin. People complained it was too easy to mistake for a quarter, store owners didn't like handling it, and many refused to use it. So, even though the mint produced more than 750 million coins in 1979 alone, most of them ended up sitting in bank vaults, untouched, instead of circulating widely in people's pockets. Another fascinating detail lies in the mint varieties. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins without any mint mark, the Denver Mint struck coins with a D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint struck both circulation coins and collector-proof versions marked with S. Among these, the 1979 S-proof varieties are especially famous. The so-called Type 1 mint mark looks like a blob like S, while the Type 2 is much sharper and clearer. Collectors today often pay high premiums for Type 2 proofs in pristine condition. This makes the 1979 S-proof coin some of the most valuable of the entire series, despite the general unpopularity of the Susan B. Anthony dollar in circulation. The coin also highlights the tension between tradition and modernization. Americans were used to the large Eisenhower dollar or the familiar paper note, and they resisted the smaller coin, no matter how practical it was. In fact, many vending machine companies and transit systems tried to adapt to the new coin, but people still chose to hold on to the dollar bill. This reluctance became one of the main reasons why the Susan B. Anthony dollar failed to achieve its intended purpose. Even though it was minted in 1979, 1980, 1981, and then briefly in 1999, it never gained the popularity of the later Sacagawea dollar or the presidential dollars. From a collector's perspective, however, the $1,979 coin is a must-have. It is a symbol of a short-lived but historically significant chapter in U.S. coinage. Collectors today appreciate it not for its widespread use, but for its uniqueness, its bold tribute to women's rights, and the challenge it represents in American monetary history. High-grade examples certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC can command impressive prices, especially in MS-67 or MS-68 condition, where only a handful survive. Proof coins, particularly the 1979 S-Type 2, can reach hundreds of dollars, while coins with errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or wrong planchet strikes, can sell for thousands. Beyond money, the symbolism of this coin is very powerful. Susan B. Anthony's presence on a U.S. dollar coin in 1979 was groundbreaking. It recognized, in metal form, the tireless struggle of women who fought for the right to vote, for equality, and for dignity. By placing her portrait on a coin that every American could carry, the United States made a statement that the contributions of women were essential to the nation's identity. Even if the coin was not widely loved by the public, its design carried a legacy that opened the door for later coins honoring Sacagawea, Native American heritage, and even other historical figures. In short, the 1979 $1 coin may not have been a commercial success, but it is a cultural and historical treasure. It represents innovation, failure, recognition, and symbolism all at once. For collectors, historians, and even casual observers, it stands as a coin that tells a powerful story of America's attempt to modernize its currency, of honoring a true pioneer in the fight for human rights, and of how sometimes even the best ideas face resistance. Today, owning this coin is like owning a piece of history, a reminder that every coin is not just money, but a story engraved in metal.